How did I end up a Muslim? That's the question I often get asked, but in my opinion, it's more of a how did I get so lucky to see the mercy, love, and peace in Islam, especially in a world where Muslims are often untolerated and misunderstood? As I sit here listening to the Quran, I try to think back to the moment I became Muslim, but it wasn't a moment, a split decision, nor a quick change. It was over a period of 2 years from first resisting any religion to trying to convince my Muslim partner that Islam is man-made like all other religions, to discovering the truth about Islam. Oftentimes, my heart would beat faster, the hair on my arms would stand up straight, and my jaw would literally fall open with shock at all the things I learned. However, back to the beginning, I know now that there is a thing called destiny. Your life is already perfectly planned and mapped out, but I didn't always have that conviction. I believed that everything happens for a reason, sure, but oftentimes contradicting myself by asking, why? Why did this have to happen to me? At the tender age of 20, I decided to travel. First stop, Egypt. I got a job and met some friends and stayed in a lovely resort for months and months. With minus a million intention of meeting a man, I was as surprised when I found myself in a relationship with a Muslim. Time passed, we got more serious, we moved in together and we began to share life. Then one day, he changed. He started to pray all the time. He began to fast even though it wasn't Ramadan. He liked watching sheiks and he would show me a few. I was convinced that Islam was a misogynistic religion and that scared me. What if my partner becomes a bully, or derogatory, or worse, a woman beater? I had to do something, so I had to stop him from practicing Islam. I began to watch some programs on Islam. I'd watch a variety of shows from different sheiks and learned a great deal about Islam from authentic sources. The search on Islam continued. My heart was softening. I no longer repelled the religion. However, I didn't think I would ever become Muslim myself, but I could tolerate my partner practicing it. We spoke of marriage and I asked him to marry me as a Christian. He agreed, but he would never stop talking to me about Islam, about the Prophet Muhammad, and about Allah's final religion. We had so many interesting and brilliant talks. Oftentimes, we would go for a walk in the evenings after work, and all we would talk about was life, God, religion, afterlife, and for once, I felt like I was finally understanding all the confusing life questions that no one has ever been able to answer before. And until this very day, I have never thought of a question and not found the answer. The answer is Islam. I finally realized this religion is perfect and it makes me feel good. It encourages me to make better decisions, and it has the power to change my perception on everything. I understand my purpose, and with that brought a newfound characteristic I hadn't really felt before: confidence. For the first time, I made decisions based on Islam, based on Allah's guidance and the Prophet's advice. Despite what society deems as normal or acceptable or desirable, it didn't matter. What mattered was becoming a Muslimah. So I did it. I traveled to Al-Azhar Mosque. Cairo and I filled in a form, signed my certificate, and declared the Shahada in the worst Arabic you have ever heard to 2 sheiks. And I have since learned how to recite some Arabic much better, but it didn't matter. All that mattered was that I found the courage to commit wholeheartedly despite the fact that a few years before, I had no desire to become religious. Rather, I thought about travel, money, makeup, and parties. Oh God, How much can you change with a positive influence, and what better influence than Islam? As I sit here and reflect, I realize that I now say things I never imagined saying before. My whole perspective on life, people, friends, and family changed. I became soft towards people, yet strong in my heart, and I forgive, but I kept my integrity. I became so honest I won't even make a prank in case my Lord became sad with me. I found good role model, the Prophet Muhammad, who cared for everyone, who showed strength during struggles and relied on Allah for everything. So I became less afraid of people, more afraid of Allah. I no longer chase the life and live by YOLO. And I began to realize this life is a test, but I can win. I can leave this world better than I found it, and no deed is too small.